Today it's time for you to meet the team.
Fatelink is making a living case study out of building an independent feature film. Day by day, see the hopes, dreams, fears, and step-by-step process it takes to make a movie.
Let's take Daniel Berilla. I would call Daniel Berilla an adorable, exuberant, very extroverted pocket gay with sass and street smarts. Daniel grew up in Yuma, Arizona. By the time he's 13 or 14 years old, he's actually already delivering the weather.
The humidity for El Centro is 67%. I skipped the temperature.
I met Daniel Berilla when he was 20 years old, and he was the dog walker for Academy Award nominated actress Sally Kirkland, who lived in the building north of where I lived in West Hollywood. And I struck up a friendship with him, and we've been friends and working together ever since. He did a little role in a comedy series I directed, and he was one of the associate producers on Guys Reading Poems. My experience working on Guys Reading Poems with Daniel proved to me that the guy can make friends with anybody. On set, he was hanging out with the celebrities who were in the movie. He was hanging out with our cinematographer. He was hanging out with the parents of the kid actor in the movie, and everybody loved him. We did a crowdfunding campaign for Guys Reading Poems and raised $60,000, and the person who brought in the most money in that crowdfunding campaign was Daniel Berilla. Daniel has a great ability to be enthusiastic and energetic about a project in a way that makes other people energetic and enthusiastic about that project. And that is a really excellent quality to have if you're gonna, build a life as a movie producer. Let's talk about Jason Daks. When you're meeting with Jason Daks and he's driving up to meet you, he's on the phone. And sometimes he'll be like, Hunter, just a second, I gotta take care of this phone call, I gotta wrap it up. And every time he has to say, all right, I gotta go, I gotta run, it's because he has a phone call coming through that he has to take. That is an excellent sign that the person you're hanging out with would be a good movie producer. Jason was born and raised in Los Angeles, and it shows. He wanted to be part of the movie business right from the start. As a toddler, he started recognizing D-list actresses in his Mommy and Me classes. When he went through his bar mitzvah, he pulled together this whole Hollywood theme and dressed up as a movie producer. All that makes a lot of sense if you get to know Jason today. Jason has a facility for many different parts and aspects of the job of producer. He has an ability to give creative notes and attach those creative notes to possible talent. He has an ability to be on good terms with the crew and deal with the tech side and the gear that they need. Not every producer who's great at creative and developing story is also great with the gear and with the tech. Jason's great with both. And he also has a facility for the distribution side, going to AFM, meeting the players in the distribution world, and knowing how they might connect up to that project. So in that way, he is a real triple threat. And plus, one thing I love about Jason, he is willing to take a risk for a project. He's willing to cold call investors on behalf of a project. He's willing to knock on doors and just go for it. Nowhere was this, more on display than when Jason and I had to put together a pitch for a movie I wrote where one of the characters, developed superhero movies. And there we were at Hollywood Toy and Costume with Jason trying on a superhero outfit, getting ready to go that extra mile for the pitch. So let's talk about Yuki Sagara. Yuki is a dear friend of mine. She's a spiritual advisor. She's an actress. She plays a lot of doctors, lawyers, reporters, professionals, which is very interesting to me because in life, she it thinks outside of the box. She does a lot of energy healing work, and this stuff works. She's helping me in my life learn how to receive what I'm supposed to receive from the universe. Yuki is very opinionated. Sometimes she's harder on people than I am, but that's also a good quality because when somebody tells you the truth, even if it's hard, then you at least know you can count on that before taking the next step. I don't always agree with her about everything, and in particular, I don't fully agree with her about her taste in films.
I believe Hunter and I, we argue about this sometimes.
For example, she hated Uncut Gems. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And even though I tried to convince her it was a fantastic film, she just would not hear it. Let's talk about Sammy Kusler. I like to call Sammy the diva whisperer. Now, when you make a movie, there are a lot of big personalities, people who are talented, and a lot of people have an ego about the fact that they're talented. And sometimes people start crying, people get in hysterics, people get really, really angry, they storm off set, they do all kinds of things. When somebody is going through something like that, I always try to get them in a room with Sammy Kusler, because I can count on him to just sort of calm them down and get them back to the ground and back to feeling good. For that reason, Sammy is a guy that is fantastic to have around on a set. Let's talk Daniel Bort. Daniel Bort is a little bit of an international man of mystery. He's one of those friends that, you go to Starbucks with him on Monday, and on Thursday you run into a mutual friend of yours, and he's like, oh yeah, Daniel Bort's in China and about to go to Berlin. And you're like, what? In 3 days he went to China and now he's going to Berlin, and then you find out he's going to Toronto and somewhere else after that. So that's what it's like to know Daniel Bort. Daniel Bort has the ability, when he reads a script, not just to read it for the content, for the story itself, but also little wheels start turning in his mind about who might be a good person to end up with this script, who might it go to in the end as a distributor, what are the different pathways that it might go. Daniel is Venezuelan, he has very strong opinions, and he's very smart. So if he reads your script and he gives it his stamp of approval, it's ready for the set. And if he doesn't, and he tells you a note, you better really think long and hard about that note. So that's our team for now. Keep in mind, we're going to grow by a lot as we gain momentum and head towards production. Next episode, why am I making a movie at all? What are my values? The answer can be found in a famous myth called the water of life.